It is said communication is life force. That is true. Communication is like the blood that circulates in human body to keep it going. Like we are interested in knowing how our body could do well, how it could be kept in the pink of its state. In the same vibrant vein, communication too should be a matter of interest and concern for all of us. If we excel in informal and formal setups in conveying what we intend, we have bright things to look forward to. The quintessential question is how to go about it. Well, it's easy. To work in this way, IGNOU had come out with its course, Make Love 135, titled English in Daily Life, in its ODL mode, due acknowledgement to all those who were concerned with it. And now I, Dr. Vibhuti Gaur, feel privileged to bring the course contents to all of you through its fantastic Swayam portal. My dear learners, let's travel this journey together, holding each other's arms for an enriching experience. This course has 4 blocks as already stated in introductory video. This lecture pertains to block 1, unit 1, titled How to Begin and End Conversations. This unit aims to fulfill the following objectives: how to teach the learners how to begin and end conversations appropriately, how to have a better understanding of the formal rules and informal aspects to be followed and expressions to be used, and how to monitor your speech more critically to enhance the overall experience. I would request the learners to answer each question with a yes, no, or sometimes. I feel shy and never open a dialogue with known, unknown people. I never introduce my friends to my family and colleagues at a social gathering. I feel nervous with strangers. I have often left social gatherings, meetings, or parties unnoticed. If your answer has been a yes for all the 4 questions, this lesson will help you to open up and become more comfortable with so-called your awkward situations. All the best. Starting a conversation involves 3 steps: greeting, introducing yourself, and asking after the other person's well-being. The formulas for these are fixed and usually carry no little meaning. We say good morning even if it is not a good morning, and the answer for how are you is fine thanks even if you are not well. No one except your close friends really wants to know about your troubles. These are routine courtesies that are followed. The expressions you use will vary according to your relationships. Starting a conversation involves making yourself as well as the other people feel relaxed and comfortable. You may have to start a conversation in formal or informal setups like welcoming visitors, friends, unknown, etc. Here is an example of an informal introduction. Renu, have you met Geeta? Geeta, this is Ahmed, a friend of mine from the office. Geeta, hello Ahmed. Ahmed, hello, nice to meet you. And you have a formal introduction like, Mukti, Mr. Parekh, may I introduce you to my husband, Subhash? Subhash, this is Mr. Parekh, our manager. Mr. Parekh, how do you do? Subhash, how do you do? Listen to the conversation and answer the questions given below. You may listen to any audio as many times as you require and say while I read whether the following statements are true or false. Rinku, hello Dev, bunk the class as usual? Dev, oh hi. Yes, I had to miss either the class or my breakfast. You know how it is in the hostel? Rinku, yes, of course I do. Food for thought can always wait, but real food can't. Both laugh. Dev, well, why aren't you in the class? Don't tell me. Rinku, well, I missed the youth special. I was waiting for Neha. I wonder what's keeping her away. Seeing Neha coming. Hi Neha, where have you been? Dev, hello Neha, how are you? Neha, hello, how are you? Dev, fine, thank you. Rinku, What took you so long? Thought you were never coming. Neha, there's a new student in our class, Shakil Ahmed. I was introducing him to some of the others. He seemed so lost. Rinku, well. Neha is sure spreading her wings. I never known her to talk to strangers. Dev, her tone, yes. Not so long ago, I was the new one in the class. You didn't take me around or introduce me to friends. Neha, oh well, Rinku, you weren't in the class. And as usual, the others ignored him completely. So someone had to break the ice. Dev, of course, someone had to introduce him around and make him feel good, and that someone had to be Neha. Lucky fellow. Rinku, shut up, Dev. Enough of your fooling. But Neha, a round of introduction shouldn't have taken you so long. Neha, well, once he began, he went on, and I didn't know how to come out of it without seeming rude. They all laugh. After listening to this, say whether the following statements are true or false. Dev is a new boy in the class. Rinku and Neha are close friends. Neha and Dev are close friends. Rinku appears to be quiet and shy person. Along with greetings, farewells are an important part of a social interactions, both in informal and formal situations. It involves two steps, signaling the end and parting salutation. Let's read a short dialogue and decide on the following for each piece. Anju, oh my gosh, it's already 5. I'd better rush. Mom will be wondering what happened to me. Kriti, we must get together again soon. Anju, yes, we must. Bye now. Kriti, bye Anju. Take care. Mr. Souza, excuse me, Mr. Verma. Here is a report you wanted. Mr. Verma, yes, thank you, Mr. Souza. So where is the conversation taking place? What is the relationship? Whether they are strangers or friends, family, acquaintances, colleagues or neighbors. So underline the words and expressions used in each case to signal that the conversation is coming to a close or it's a parting salutation used. There is a close association between listener expectation, purpose, and comprehension. Her discourse, which closely corresponds to what the listener expects and needs, is more likely to be understood than that which is unexpected and irrelevant. Preconceived notions of the subject matter, formality level, and so on of what we are to hear matters a lot while a listening exercise is being conducted. There are verbal communications and nonverbal communications. Nonverbal communications would always tend to precede the verbal communications. Therefore, there are etiquettes that need to be followed. Etiquettes is a system of rules that tell you what is a polite way to behave towards other people, in nonverbal way as well as in verbal way. The reading passage on etiquettes, which is given in the content matter, it deals with its origin and details of some of the rules of etiquettes. But time and manners have changed, but good sense, good taste, kindness, and sensitivity for others will always be considered as elementary good manners. While one reads a passage on etiquettes, it contains how one should introduce, the kind of table manners that are required, the kind of gifts one should carry, the kind of acknowledgements that one should express, and also very importantly, courtesy to ladies, how it has changed over time. For example, some rules of etiquette regarding introductions. Always introduce a younger person to an older one. For example, Ms. Verma may introduce my friend Nita Kumar. Among grown-ups, a man is generally introduced to a woman. Ms. Verma may introduce Mr. Kumar. When you are with one friend and meet another, you must immediately introduce them if they do not already know each other. When you have been out with a friend and she or he accompanies you home, you must ask him or her to come in and meet family members who are there unless she or he already knows them. It is very rude to fail to make or offer these introductions. As far as table manners are concerned, different countries have different polite ways to use the knife, fork, spoon, and any one of the ways is all right. A napkin should be laid in the lap and never tucked into any part of the clothing. It is considered impolite to lean on the table with your elbows. You should not begin to eat until your host or hostess has begun. It is bad manners to take too large mouthfuls or to talk while there is any food in your mouth. One bite of food should be cut and eaten before another is cut. These are main rules of table manners, but there are many more. Gifts should not be too expensive or too personal, like clothing, unless you know the person very well. Flowers and chocolates are proper gifts from boys to girls. Nowadays, younger people give treats to friends. Before leaving any house in which you are a guest, you must find your host and hostess and thank them. If you have spent the night with them, you should write a letter within a few days at most and thank them. A thank you note must also be sent promptly for any gift, and it is polite to telephone the next day when you have been at a party or at a dinner at somebody else's house. 51 years ago, or even more than that, it was not polite for a man to remain seated when a woman was standing, unless the woman asked him to. When a woman entered room, every man in the room immediately stood up and remained standing until she sat down or asked them to sit down. A man normally lets a woman go before him through a doorway or upstairs or downstairs, and he would not get into a car until she was in it and the door on her side was closed. In taking places at a table, the men did not sit down until the women were seated. Nowadays, these rules are not followed except on very formal occasions and mostly in the army. With women joining the workforce in large numbers, norms have changed. Today, the relationships between the sexes is much more democratic and less formal. Yet, everyone appreciates a young man giving his seat to a woman in a bus or is waiting to allow children and women into the bus first. There are many books that could give you many rules of formal etiquettes, but most of these are seldom used in daily life, and it would be ridiculous also if they're used in ordinary circumstances. As far as writing practice is concerned, it is very important to write short responses to various occasions like, how did the meeting go? How's the business? She sends you her regards, and write the name off and practice these with your friends. As far as a speaking practice is concerned, you must listen, you must read, you must speak. You must listen, read, write, and then speak. Be comfortable and enjoy and have confidence. Here are some of the expressions which are important to note and practice in your daily life. I have written down the informal expressions in column A, and your task would be to write more formal expressions in column B. 2, I have done for you. Column A, oh hi. And a more formal expression is good morning, what a pleasant surprise. Something like keep quiet. And a more formal would be, would we all maintain a moment's silence, please? And other informal expressions like, hello, Dave, lucky fellow, so long, bye then, sorry, yaar. All these would definitely have their formal expressions, which we would want learners to see for themselves and practice. There is a bit of grammar also that we have introduced here to facilitate the entire process of your learning English. There is something called as a simple present tense, verb to be. That is, I am, you are, she, he, it is, we are, they are. In conversation and informal writing, we use contractions like I am, you are, he is, it's, Anju's, we are, they are. There is a comprehension by J. Krishnamurti. I would read that. There is no need to education, not that you read a book, pass an examination, and finish with education. The whole of life from the moment you are born to the moment you die is a process of learning. You will notice that the verbs read, pass, and finish depict some action and are called action verbs. On the other hand, the verb is and are depict states and not actions. They are called stative verbs. Also, there is something called as subject-verb concord. You will notice that the simple present forms of the verb be differ according to the number and persons of the subject or subjects. I am, singular first person. You are, singular second person. He, she is, singular third person. It is, singular object. This is, singular object, idea, concept, etc. These are plural third person. We are plural first person. Here are a few dialogues which would be very good for you to practice and can be used in greetings and introductions. How are you? Very well. Thank you. And you? Pleased to meet you. Pleased to meet you too. How do you do? How do you do? Please call me Anju. Then you must call me Rahul. How's life? Not too bad, but rather busy. Now let's sum up. This unit has dealt with the importance of starting and ending conversations. It is an aspect of etiquette and social grace that is increasingly important in the global world. Hope you enjoyed the lecture. Thank you so much.